Sorry?
What road is it? Right, it's a parking fine, yeah?
Oh, right, is it? Not that I'm aware of.
It should say in the top right-hand corner.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, it meant it's got a few details in that, but like I say, from my perspective, it's the first I've heard about it. If you can, what you can do, if you can provide evidence that that this so-called contravention's happened, then I'll pay it.
It has happened, hasn't it?
Well, obviously not. If it's the first I've heard about it, and I don't recall blocking in any traffic or blocking the flow of traffic or anything like that to do with the acts that you're enforcing. Right. So I'm just explaining to you. If you can provide evidence of it, then we can go from there, can't we?
No, that means I'm back out today, and I'm looking at seizing your vehicle.
Well, it's not my vehicle. It's your vehicle.
Registered in your name.
Yeah, but as you full well know, Mr. Bishop, the registered keeper that you get your details from is not necessarily the owner, which isn't the case. I'm just giving, Mr. Bishop, would you let me speak, please, and stop talking over me? I'm just letting you know that obviously there's evidence that the car is obviously owned by someone else. We've got the evidence in front of us, right? I'm explaining that to you. So before you come to my house trying to levy on goods that aren't owned by, could you let me finish speaking, please? Yeah, I'm just saying to you that if you want to come to my house, right, and start levying goods that aren't owned by me, then I'm sorry, but then there'll be a complaint going into the government ombudsman.
I'll tell you what, let's finish this conversation now. You've got a serious attitude problem.
No, I'm explaining to you, Mr. Bishop, that at the end of the day, that the car is owned by. You've just said to me that we're taking your car, right? And I've said to you that the car is not owned by myself.
Your explanation.
Sorry?
Your explanation that you're giving is nowhere near the correct information that you should be saying. Right?
You can't tell me what reality is, Mr. Bishop. At the end of the day, right, the car.
Tell you what, let's have this discussion when your car is on the back of a recovery truck.
Don't try and threaten me, Mr. Bishop. But at the end of the day, the car was sold. The car was sold to somebody else, and they've got evidence to prove that. Now, at the end of the day, if you want to levy against something, I've give you notice that is owned by somebody else.
That Rover is still registered in your name.
It doesn't make any. Yeah, well, I'm explaining to you that the registered keeper is not necessarily the owner.
Your house yesterday, right? I was going to close that vehicle last night.
Which would have been against the law, my friend. The police would have been called, and you'd be done for theft. You'd be done for theft.
I'll tell you what I'll do for you. I'll tell you what I'll do, right?
No, I'll tell you what I'll do, Mr. Bishop. At the end of the day, the police will be called and it'll be classed as theft because someone else has got a receipt. Somebody else has got a receipt saying that they have bought the car previously. Now, that means I do not own it. And firstly, I asked you for the evidence that I actually got a ticket in the first place.
Let's go with this, right?
No, it's not. Let's go with this. I've given you notice. Your implied right of access has also been removed. Just to give you notice on that. Okay.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't, mate. Well, when you come, you can read the notice in the window. At the end of the day, I'm explaining it to you now, giving you notice. I can verbally tell you that your implied right of access has been removed from my property. Okay. This call, Mr. Bishop, this call is being recorded for my references and my purposes.
Are you going to let me speak and try and get through to you? Or
You
are you
did.
going to be so obnoxious and not allow me to explain anything to you?
Because you said you're going to take a car that's not owned by me, my friend. I'm not going to have that.
Please listen to me.
Go on, I'll hear you out for 1 second. Go on.
1 second. Who do you think you are?
Who do I think I am? Someone that knows the rules and regulations, my friend. And at the end of the day, you can't take something that is levied, is owned by somebody else, because I'll take you to court, my friend. I'll take you to the ends. You know what I mean? I'll just go through the complaints procedure. The government ombudsman. At the end of the day, I've already explained to you, right, if you want to try and levy anything against the car that's not owned by me and we've got documents to prove that, then that'll go all the way and you'll have to pay all the costs, and so will the council as well. And so will the council as well. I might owe you the money. That's up for debate, isn't it? I've asked you to provide evidence that are due, and you haven't even answered that. Why won't you do that? I'm asking you. I came on the phone to you and I said, right, I'm not sure what this is about, Mr. Bishop. Would you show me evidence that this is all correct and everything? Because I'm getting a demand for money. That's fair enough. And because I'm recording this call and it'll be played back down the line, they'll see it as it's fair enough. You threatened me with a car straight away, and then I turned around and said to you that it's not owned by me. I've give you the answer there. I've told you if something's not if you've been told that something's not owned, you have to investigate that. The logbook went off about 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I'm surprised it hasn't gone in the new person's name. But at the end of the day, that's eventually what will happen. So when they get the document and it all goes on the DVLA, when you check it, eventually, you'll notice that my name isn't on there. So obviously you can't levy against the car. That's all I was explaining to you, Mr. Bishop. And as far as coming to my house is concerned, it's just been a fucking moron, isn't it? End of story.